It's that time of the year again. I'm out with my mountain bike, enjoying the beautiful Austrian Alps with my friends. With me is the latest iteration of the DJI OSMO Action camera. Are you curious to hear what's new in comparison to last year's DJI OSMO Action 4? Then hang on, as I discuss with Nino the new DJI OSMO Action 5 Pro.
You're watching CineD, supported by B&H and CVP.
Welcome, Gunther, to our studio. You just came back from a nice bike tour with a new Action 5 Pro from DJI, their new action camera. Let's talk about your first impressions.
Yes.
What's different to its predecessor, the Action 4?
Yeah, I mean, as you have seen in the initial footage, I used it on a bike trip with my friends. Like we always do these little trips into the Austrian Alps every year. And it's always a great opportunity because it is like beginning of September and it's like 2 weeks before these action cameras are released every year. And as you can see, Action 4, OSMO Action 5 Pro, the screen real estate on the rear got much bigger. The OSMO Action 5 Pro uses now OLED screens on the front and on the back, and the screens got bigger. They almost reach to the edges of the frame, which is very, very nice.
But that already lets me skip ahead to battery consumption. Do you think, is it the same battery? Is it a new battery? And do you feel any difference because you have bigger screens?
Yes. Very interesting. OSMO Action 4 has a smaller battery. It's 1750 milliamps versus this one is 1950 milliamps. But also the processor has changed. DJI claims it's now a 4 nanometer processor. And what that means is actually that battery life is vastly improved.
Really?
Vastly improved. It's funny because they always sell this adventure pack. I took the adventure pack with me where you have 2 additional batteries. I was thinking, yes, with the bigger screens and everything, maybe the battery consumption is bigger or higher. No, that's not the case. I actually took one battery the whole day, shooting scenes here and there, and like 30, 40 scenes per day. And battery life at the end of the day of the same battery was still like 60 or 70%.
Wow.
Yes, in total you can say like 20, 25 minutes of footage per day. With 30-40% battery consumption only.
And how much?
That's huge.
And that means
That's
also
great.
25 minutes of powered on?
Yes.
Or was it? Okay.
Yes. So really good. But I didn't do any scientific test to really test how much better it is, but it just feels so much better that I actually wouldn't buy the adventure combo.
Really? You're fine with one battery?
I'm fine with one battery.
Well, as a professional, maybe you need more.
Not, but yeah, true.
Yeah, okay, cool. Let's talk about, I mean, before we dive into the images, we saw some nice images already. In general, what do you think, what are the main innovations that you were actually using?
Yeah, so basically one nice innovation is that now in 4:3 mode of the sensor, you also can go with 120 frames in 4K. Before it was only in 16:9 mode. Now you can use the full 4:3 frame in 120 frames. That's a big one. Audio has been improved. They also managed to improve like the inlets for the sound versus the DJI Action 4. So I think the audio has improved, and they now offer the connectivity to the DJI Mix. And there's a nice feature, you can add 2 DJI mics, so we could make an interview.
The mics.
The DJI mics.
Yeah.
We could make an interview both together. It would record these 2 channels, and if you have audio backup enabled, it would also record a stereo, an additional stereo track from the camera itself.
So you don't even need the mic receiver, the DJI mic receiver, it's built in?
It would connect.
Oh, wow. So just the transmitters. We're actually using them right now, but we can have connected them to a normal camera. Interesting. So you can just use that.
So that's very nice.
So this is a quick test of the DJI mics.
Yes.
Well, with a lav mic, but connected directly to the Action 5. So we're running the audio straight in without the original DJI Mic 2 receiver.
Exactly.
And it seems
to work. That's a very nice feature. And you can have like 2 microphones connected. No? Plus you can even record the stereo as a backup also on the OSMO itself. Nice. Very nice feature.
And I guess you can still record internally in these as well.
That as well, yes. So maybe that's why it is called Pro. We don't know.
That's fine.
Let's see.
Very, very pro.
Very pro.
It's like with the Neo drone.
Yeah.
which you
Yeah,
can also
exactly.
directly connect. Actually, I think I don't know. It's probably not connected to the drone. It's connected to the app, but you can record from the DJI mic
from the DJI mics directly to the camera.
Yeah.
Yes, this is very nice. Huh?
Did you feel any difference in things like, I mean, sensor size is the same, I guess, but it's a new sensor,
Yeah.
DJI claims?
Yeah, it's basically, they claim it's a new sensor. It's 1/1.3 inch, which is from a specs the same, but in the media info, they claim it's a new sensor.
Did you feel any difference in image quality if you compare them?
Difficult to tell actually, because for these image comparisons you would have them really side by side to really see the difference. But overall, a very nice image. You can also set, of course, the D-Log M mode, 10-bit mode, all these things, like with the old one. But you can also now control the sharpening, they call it texture now in the menus, and also the noise reduction you can set.
Nice.
I've had both on 0 just to see like the base settings. That is very nice.
It's great that you can influence this, because we've seen on DJI drones in the past where we used to have this function, then they took it away from us for a lot of the drones, which was frustrating a lot of people. And now it's back, it's coming back also in the action cameras.
You can set it in the camera, which is really nice.
So one of the things that were always a little bit of a difference between GoPro and maybe the original Action from DJI was how it treated shadows and highlights, because of course those cameras ran automatically and they need to adjust automatically. Is this better than it used to be or different?
Yeah, very good point. It's actually, in my feeling, much better than before, because before it would very quickly change the brightness. Like if you go through a dark area and then you go again into the bright sunlight with the camera, like on the bike, it would change very rapidly and it would also blow highlights. But now it is a much smoother transition, and in general I feel somehow the dynamic range has improved also of that camera, because even if you are in the shadows, you can still see the bright parts of the image. And I have one example here, for instance, in the footage. We are cycling in the dark shadow side, but the mountains are in the bright sunlight, and both is captured very nicely.
How is it treating? I mean, I remember the original Action wasn't really good at that, where you really saw silhouettes. Like if you were pointing the camera at yourself, for example, from the bike angle, and then you would be a silhouette and the background would be properly exposed. I think it's already gotten a lot better with that in the last few generations.
So image quality has vastly improved on the camera. There's one gripe, however, we have to discuss, that's the bitrate.
Okay.
Because the OSMO Action 4 in the Pro mode, if you use D-Log M with the 10-bit, it had 130 megabit per second maximum bitrate. And this one, for instance, in 4K 30, I couldn't get it above 60 megabit per second. So that's less than half the bitrate, and you can see it by compression artifacts. In 4K 60, for instance, it has 80 megabit, and only if you go to 4K 120, it would reach around 100 megabit per second, and that's not enough. So I hope that this will be improved in the future firmware.
And we didn't actually find a way to change a kind of codec. I mean, you can select, I think, 10-bit.
Yes, the D-Log M mode.
D-Log M mode, and it's 10-bit, and then
the Pro mode, as they call it,
And then you change to either whether you want 4:3 or 16:9, and the frame rate.
Yes.
But that's it. And then you can change between D-Log and HLG. But that's the only thing you can set. There's not really anything that shows to change bitrate. So this is only something you discovered when looking at the footage and looking at the file properties.
So I had it with me on the bike for 4 days, and coming back, looking in the laptop, looking at the bitrates, I was like, what's going on?
That's very strange. I mean, we reached out to DJI. Maybe we have an update to this, which you will insert here. But it's like, there is internal storage now, which is actually a significant size of internal storage.
Yes, that's a nice feature that we saw already in some of the drones from DJI. It has 47 gigabyte of internal storage. And that's also something I tried with regards to the bitrate, of course, because I was thinking maybe my SD card is not the right one or something. So I tried to record the same scenes also on the internal storage, and it was also with the low bitrate. So this cannot be the reason for the low bitrates, but 47 gigabyte of internal storage, that's really nice.
Interesting,
really
interesting. Yeah, I mean,
so that gets you, like with the low bitrate it has now, it gets you like 1.5 hours of 4K footage.
Do you know if you run out of storage on your SD, on your micro SD, would it automatically go to the internal one? Or?
No, you have to set it. You have to set, now I want to record So I even removed the SD card, and it would say no SD card. Please switch to the internal storage, and then you switch it.
Okay, well, that might be a feature they should add, just to span over.
Automatically span over. Yeah, that's true.
So, anything else to add? Do you think it's a good thing to, like, if you already have an Action 4 and you use it all the day, all the time, what is there enough reason to upgrade to an Action 5 Pro?
I think if you have an Action 4 already, because Action 4 was the first one where I thought the image is now really nicer than the one of the GoPro, and considering all the other features as well that DJI is bringing to these cameras. If you have the Action 4, I don't think there's enough reason to upgrade. But if you come from an older version of the DJI action cameras, then the Action 5 Pro is a really worthy upgrade. You get these general features of DJI, the quality of everything, like you touch this body, how it feels. Also, if you add ND filters and stuff, everything works so smooth and so nicely. It's just amazing, and the overall quality of this is really good.
I mean, software, I think they also do always a great job at
bugs,
interfaces.
No hang-ups. In the GoPros, you had always with the early software versions, they would hang up or something.
Yeah.
So that's really good. And also you have fast charging. For instance, if you plug it on, within like 45 minutes, it's charged again.
Let's talk about the ND filters. Did you use them?
Yes, that's a very good point. One of the problems with an action camera, as opposed to, for instance, an Osmo Pocket 3 that Johnny reviewed, the problem is if you add an ND filter, you do that to get motion blur. But the action camera itself is shaking, of course, when you go downhill on the bike. So the image will be blurry because of the ND filter. Now the camera is trying to stabilize a blurry image, so you get these artifacts. And I show you one scene now. Have a look. You can clearly see the artifacts in the image. So this is why I eventually then removed all the ND filters. Then you don't get the motion blur, but you can add some in post with some programs that allow that. Here the Osmo Pocket 3 is much better because it has this gimbal that stabilizes the camera first. And with a stabilized camera, if you add an ND filter, then you don't get these artifacts.
Well, I guess it depends on the use case. Of course, if you mount it on a bike, you have a lot of vibrations. If you mount this on a gimbal, or if you mount it on a car, where the car already has a proper suspension and you might not need this stabilization, then you will have the advantages of an ND filter, which is slow shutter.
Absolutely.
Basically. But I understand it has less to work with to fix the image.
And the image via default, if you add an ND filter, is blurry. And what do you want to stabilize in a blurry image?
Yeah.
So
interesting. Yeah. I mean, let's just quickly mention GoPro. This year we didn't actually receive any chance to test the GoPro Hero 13. Last year we kind of, like you tested both Action 4 and Hero 13 at the same time for a comparison, and it was a bit of a frustrating experience. We'll put the link maybe below the video for people who haven't read this, because the firmware was updated for the GoPro, I think, the day the camera was released. And, it just makes our life very hard.
Yes,
as reviewers, we've had this experience also in the past with DJI products, and you have had it with GoPro last year. It's just something to mention to manufacturers, and it doesn't make any sense to send us products to review beforehand if the firmware completely changes the second. I know this is often not, probably they don't know, and if it's a bug, they will need to fix it, but it's like, tell us, if we know, because then it doesn't make sense to review it beforehand if they're already working on a fix. We'll just wait with reviewing it until it's
fixed and mature.
Exactly. In this case, with the GoPro, I think it was something with the log, right?
Yeah, the log mode was...
The log mode didn't properly work, so the whole footage was kind of pointless, and that is a frustrating experience if you invest a lot of time in a review.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, this year we didn't receive a Hero 13 to review, so we can't make any comment on this camera. We can only comment on the Action 5 from DJI. Yeah.
But basically what I can say, buying this camera, nothing wrong with it. Yeah. It's a fantastic camera, quality is fantastic. The OLED screens are fantastic in bright sunlight. Also the touch and feel of the record button is now much nicer. You have 20 meters depth by diving. You also have a little altimeter, which shows you the height.
20 meters without any cage.
Without any cage. And you also have a little altimeter. So for instance, I could see I'm now at 2,000 meters of altitude. However, at one point it got screwed up and it showed 44,000. And that was not what we were reaching.
You were on a plane or something.
Yeah. Maybe yes.
If they fix the bit rate,
then
you'll be happy.
Very happy.
Okay. Thank you, Gunther.
Thank you.
Well, last question. Do you know why it's called Action 5 Pro?
That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe because of this audio connectivity thing, which makes it more into...
Well, we don't even know if there's a normal version. I mean, you will know once it's released.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
Thank you, Gunther. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
your nice review. And I think we'll probably show a few more images.
Yes. Thank you. I'm not putting any background music here, because I want to give you an impression about the much improved sound quality of the Action 5 Pro. Hence, enjoy and see you next time on our site.